Hey, I'm Pierce Brunson with Modern Photography Group, and this is shoot review number 5. All right, let's get into it. Again, Pierce Brunson here, the owner of Modern Photography Group here in Tampa Bay, Florida. We're locally based in St. Petersburg, but we cover Tampa Bay and Central Florida and parts of Sarasota. The thing that we do the most is do a lot of events, and on my personal side, my brand of Pierce Brunson Photography, which is a service of Modern Photography Group, do a lot of family shots, and we're moving into more events with that. So today what I'm going to talk about is something that deals with like marketing and branding and all that other stuff, and how you actually get photography jobs. But first, before I get into that, I'll tell you how we got photography jobs. And before I get into that, I want you to like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, so you can subscribe to our channel here. You can also swing on over to Facebook and look for Modern Photography Group. We'll be there, and all this stuff gets posted, and all the things that we do get posted there. And if you want to, swing through Instagram, and you want to find Modern Photography Group, of course, on Instagram. It's modern.photography.group on Instagram, and Pierce Brunson Photography, all one word, Pierce Brunson Photography. That's on Instagram. And then let's see what else. Firefly Event Photography. Now, Firefly Event Photography for us is our event photography for schools. And so this video is gonna blend that and blend some of Pierce Brunson Photography. So the name of this video and the focus of this video is narrowing your photography focus. So and wrap that around, what do you like to shoot? Okay, so before you get deep into photography, and if you really want to go into it full time, or at least where you generate a lot of revenue from it, you don't have to give up your daytime job. But if you want to do something, in the evenings, and you like doing it, but you want to market, you want to do revenue, you want to do all these things. My thing is, you have to decide, what do you like to shoot, and you just need to focus on that, because everything else will come as other people see your talents at this one area. So what people will normally do is say, well, I'm just starting out, so I'm going to shoot everything, and hopefully everybody will call. And normally that doesn't happen. So excuse me. And so you just don't really focus, and you're just kind of out there practicing, and you're just kind of, you just all over the place doing a bunch of things. So for me, the way I got started, I started with Pierce Brunson Photography, okay, and that was the first thing I started with. And at the time, I was a high school teacher, and I liked photography, but I was teaching social studies, and I took my camera everywhere. Got back into it after probably about a 5 to 7 year hiatus of just not taking pictures of anything. And just, started to learn, again, what was going on with the camera and how to manipulate it. And in the beginning, wasn't very good, even though I had a background in it in my early 20s. No, once the 30s rolled around and I was off for 5 years, those skill sets were diminished, greatly diminished, and photography had changed. So what I had to do then was decide, what did I want to do? And like everybody else, when you're starting out Pierce Brunson Photography, you just want to shoot, and then somebody kind of pay you. Like, you want something like that. You don't know how to price. You don't know how to market. You don't know how to do anything. So you're just kind of just throwing things out and going, yeah, I do photography, and you're doing a lot of free shoots, and you're doing this, you're doing that. You're just trying to get anything to get some flow in the future. You're trying to pay your dues as fast as possible. Well, here's what I think can help you pay your dues faster than anything is narrowing your focus. If your focus is like family shoots, then take a bunch of family shoots. Just focus on that, and then what you do is start having conversations about other things that you want to do with people who are already previous customers. So I did a photo shoot for a family that now, I shoot their kids. Birthday parties and really anything. But the first conversation was based on that. I like to shoot, and photograph like couples for maternity, and just like family type of portraits. And that turned into, hey, come and take pictures at the birthday parties, because we also do events for other things. So on the Pierce Brunson photography side, that focus was really just like families and things like that. I did weddings, and and I think weddings take a special breed, just like anything else. And so we do weddings throughout the year, but we don't market for weddings. For the most part, here's how I describe how I do a wedding. I come in, take great images for you, connect with people, and I get your images fast. And that's pretty much my pitch, because we just don't do all the extra things, to me, that a wedding photographer would do. We give you the images. If you want the images, great. Go ahead and do what you're going to do with them. So we're not going to create a booklet. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. So we're going to be less expensive. We're not going to be, $4,000 to get all that stuff, which is, of course, $4,000. If somebody does everything, is a great bargain. But if you want to go into weddings, then you need to go into weddings, and you need to market. You need to learn that. You need to get the books behind it. But for us, and what I want to do with Pierce Brunson photography, I just looked at off-camera lighting and shooting at the sunset. Those were the things that were my skill sets were really, I was able to really show my skills, and so I like that. So really on Pierce Brunson photography, which is a couple of videos before this, 3 and 4 or 2 and 3, somewhere in there, that discusses the off-camera shoot. And that's the reason I did one of those videos first, because that's in my wheelhouse. So I basically market toward those things, and other events, other things started to show up and get requests for that, because people see your skill set and then ask you, like, hey, can you shoot this wedding? And more than likely, these weddings are like last minute. They're like, well, it's in 45 days and I need a photographer because I know I like what you shoot and you're probably going to give me a good deal. And that's probably true. They're probably like, well, I don't want to pay $3,000. So $600 is a good bargain. Fine. Like that type of thing. And we picked those up, and those are just scraps. They weren't going to pay $4,000 anyways, So we don't market towards that, so we don't waste our money. Those are usually incoming calls, and we just have a quick discussion. The next thing that I really wanted to do was, which is where we narrow our focus with Firefly Event Photography. And so go on Instagram and see Firefly Event Photography and see all the work that we do there. And I wanted to change the way high school photography at proms, homecomings, pep rallies, and even sports banquets was photographed and delivered. So I literally, from Pierce Brunson photography, put that aside for a second. That skill set was captured perfectly. We knew what we were doing there. And I really threw all my eggs in the basket of high school event photography. And I'll have some more videos on that. But we do things completely different with Firefly Event Photography. I'll show you some images at the end of this video. With that, we focus completely on that. And at first, we were just focusing on homecoming and proms. And as we got really, really good at homecoming and proms, we also discovered that there were other areas that we could, we could use our system to benefit. But if we didn't really, really focus in the beginning on narrowing our focus on just doing the events a certain way, just doing homecomings and proms, then we wouldn't be able to take our skill set and expand it. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that narrow your focus, start there. Spend about 6 months working on that focus, like whether you got to do free shoots, whether you got to do whatever, and then start to have conversations with people about the next direction that you want to go. And then maybe throw in some freebies, like you have to practice, where you can get money, but where you have to practice, you should do that. So this is what I would suggest when you're trying to narrow your focus. Start somewhere and then let it just kind of start to work its way out. For the most part, with Modern Photography Group, we use the same system in everything, and it's about accuracy and speed. So we have to dump things like Photoshop, but we have to shoot things very, very accurately, which works well for what we do, and we price that accordingly. So what I would suggest again is that if you're getting into photography and you want to figure it out, I would say narrow your focus first and spend about 6 to 10 months on just concentrating on that and connecting, then having additional conversations with those particular customers or people you've helped. If you want to get into the wedding business, find couples and take pictures, because that's going to be the next step. Just take a bunch of pictures of couples. Just say, hey, I'm working on my couple picture taking skills and posing. Get some poses, get a couple, and then give them to them free on a disc. But then have them get something in return. Have them write a review for you, and then now you start having reviews, and then that way you can start to branch out into like weddings, because somebody is going to have an inexpensive wedding that you can really that you've practiced with all these couples, and you can really knock it out, maybe make you $300, $400, $500 off of it, and then take that wedding and then start to branch out from there if you want to go in the wedding route. And then just use that instruction in any area of what you do. So that's what I would say. Narrow your focus and go for it from there. I'm Pierce Brunson again with Modern Photography Group. Subscribe, like, share, do all those things going over on Facebook, Modern Photography Group. See us there. Hit me up on Instagram, Pierce Brunson Photography, PIERCEBRUNSON Photography on Instagram. I talked a little bit about our other service, Firefly Event Photography. Go ahead and check that out on Instagram, and then we'll see you next time. Thanks.